Hello, Julia. It's so good to be with you today. I would love it if you would just take a few minutes to introduce yourself to our audience here and share a little bit about you.
I sure will. Well, thank you so much for having me, Brandy. Before we started live, friends, I was just telling Brandy how impactful KW Next Gen Quantum Leap is and how there's nothing I like to talk about more than Quantum Leap and KW Next Gen. So, friends, my name is Julia Lashay Israel. I grew up here. I have been with Keller Williams for 21 of my 26 years in real estate. I have done pretty much all of the roles that you could possibly do at Keller Williams. And I have had an incredible real estate career because of Keller Williams. And I am honored and blessed and grateful to be here with you all today to talk about QL and KW Next Gen.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you. And we're so excited to be with you too, Julia. So this is just the perfect conversation to have. So I'm so thrilled to dive right in and talk about Quantum Leap with you. I want to get to the beginning and have you talk about when you first learned about these principles of Quantum Leap and from Gary. So what was that moment and what was the landscape of your life at the time?
So it's an interesting question, and I don't know because there's a saying at Keller Williams that it's not what you get at Keller Williams, it's who you become. So, as I mentioned, I grew up here, so I've been becoming for quite some time. So, I can't put a finger on when it was the moments that I'm like, aha, the teachings of Gary Keller have changed my life, you know. But the reality is, I grew up in this. And so sometimes I'll hear people say things, or I'll think like I have this keynote, that I do. And I thought I was super smart. I thought I made it up. Come to find out, all it is the principles of Gary Keller. And so there hasn't been any one moment I could put my finger on, but I joined Keller Williams in initially, I don't even remember what year it was. I'm 45 years old. I've been here since I was 23. Okay. So then I joined it then. And the reality is that over the years, the same principles that we teach and learn on a daily basis have been incredibly impactful every day of my life. So I can't put a finger on it, Brandy.
Yeah,
I can just
that's all
say
right. Mhm.
I've become. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so is there maybe one principle that has been foundational for you? And tell me more about like how does it actually work in your life, or maybe a
Sure.
moment where you realized that was something that you were really living.
One of those foundational principles to me is the principle of purpose and mission and being actually mission driven. My favorite principle that we talk about in QL is creating the mission statement for your life and being purposeful and actually using the skills and the talents that you have to create a purpose for your life and to create impact for others. So that's my favorite one. And it helped me to realize that everybody's not thinking like this. Everybody, they think we're weird.
Mhm.
They think we're the weird guy because we actually are intentional in the life that we're building. And that, of course, is principles of Quantum Leap and my favorite one. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good point. Like, I think even myself, because I do remember me before having a mission statement meant what it means to me. I remember thinking that was just something that some corporate companies had on a wall somewhere. Like
Right.
that didn't
Right.
pertain to me,
Right. Right.
And then
Right.
now I have, like you, have it's the power of it, right? That
Yeah.
has really changed the way I view life and helped me with my focus. So
And
I
for
love
sure,
that.
same. Like people create, like you, to your point, people create missions for a business, but the concept of creating a mission statement for your life, most people haven't heard of. But when you do create that mission statement for your life, it guides you through your career and through your life. And the mission might change slightly, but
Mhm.
when the mission is clear, it makes the decisions easier so that you can evaluate opportunities, you can evaluate your purpose in accordance was, is this in alignment with my mission for my life? Which is a really different concept than most people go through life living, with.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so true. And it really does kind of play out in all your decisions, your work decisions. Like,
Absolutely.
so I think
Yeah.
that's
Oh, yeah.
a very powerful one for sure. So has something happened or surprised you that you didn't expect along the way with your when thinking about these principles, or maybe in teaching other people or being around other people in your business, like did anything around you learning about the principles surprise you in a way?
I think in general, a lot of people go through life chasing professional achievement and professional growth. But the surprise maybe is that how much personal growth you get from this, because it's,
Mm,
it's the bold law. Your business grows to the extent that you do. And
yeah.
so the surprise is that, like, oh, I actually need to personally grow in order for my professional development to exist. And I guess for me, the biggest impacts in my life never came through like tactics or skills that we teach. Like, it never came through, here's how
Hmm.
to hold an open house, or here's how to, it never, here's the best lead generating tactic of the week. It never came from any of that. It came through the personal growth that we talk about with improving your thinking by removing limiting beliefs, or expanding your vision, or creating that mission that we just talked about being the be, do, have kind of, become who you want to be, become the person that's capable of living this big life, or the person that's capable of handling these big opportunities. And so that's kind of the surprise. I would say most people think, oh, let me just chase these accolades and these professional goals, but you really can't without actually first learning how to personally grow and personally develop to be the person to handle those achievements.
So,
Yeah.
how about a decision in leadership and business and relationships? Is there any place where the principles of Quantum Leap have directly shaped what you chose to do?
Oh, every decision, because like I said, it kind of becomes who you are. But I guess a recent example I could give is that my decision to become an OP, an operating principal. I am an operating principal of 2 market centers in Minneapolis and a surrounding suburb called Roseville. And when the opportunity presented itself on paper, it's a significant financial commitment. It's a significant leadership commitment. And there's risk. There's a lot of risk in being an operating principal of a franchise. Um, so the principles, those same mission, mainly the mission,
Mhm.
creating a mission for your life, helps to evaluate even that opportunity through the lens of, okay, what is my vision for my life? What is my vision for other people? What is my mission? Mine personally is to actually help other people live big lives and build big businesses, and mainly create a larger life for themselves. So does this align with that? Does this create
Mhm.
a larger platform for me to impact more agents, to impact more communities? Does it move me closer to the future that I'm trying to build? And you align that with, your mission statement. So if the answer is yes, which it was, then the decision is made for you. It becomes an easy decision to make, because it's aligned with my larger purpose and my long-term vision for my life and my mission statement. So you can use it in any capacity. You can use it with the people that you meet. Does this person align with where I'm going in life? Does this, you use it in anything. You use it in your
Yes.
personal, simple, small things, but in big decisions like that too. But they become so easy when you have a purpose and you know what the mission is for your life and you have a vision for your life. Answers to any of those things become much easier than they would be without it.
When you think back to a young person, the people that we get to serve through KW Next Gen and that you help support, 18, 22, 25, if they had access to these principles earlier and in their career, how would their trajectory be different? What do you think that they would avoid?
Everyone has to chart their own path and make their own mistakes. But if you're equipped with certain tools, that makes a big difference. Some people are equipped with more tools than others, which I learned by watching the young people that come to the, KW Next Gen and the QL Summit in June and all of that. You're just like, these kids have stuff that other kids don't have. And it's just information. It's
Mhm.
tools and resources. So if you equip yourself with certain tools or resources when these circumstances come up, or these opportunities come up, you don't start drifting in life, which is easy to do when you're young, because what 18-year-old actually knows what they want to do with their whole life, right? No. So a lot of people, a lot of young people spend their entire life just reacting to opportunities rather than intentionally creating them for themselves. And so these principles that we teach through Quantum Leap help people get really clear about what they want their life to be. Where do you want to go? How do you want to get there? Let's make a plan to get there so that when random things come up, they don't fall into the trap of
Mm.
just going whichever way the wind blows. And to that point, the 411 that we use, that teaches people how to create the results that they want through consistent actions over life. So if you have those tools and resources that I kids, I call them kids because I have children that age, but
Right.
that young adults,
Mhm.
that young adults actually, if you have these tools, most young adults do not have these tools. Even
Yeah.
they're not even having these conversations. So to even have the conversation or to be around other young people having these conversations, they kind of look around like, maybe I need, these are some lessons that I need that most people don't get until much later in life. So it's really a blessing, for these young people to have these tools so that they can avoid the pitfalls of just kind of floating whichever way the wind blows, but they have direction.
What about do you remember when you were first starting out? Was there anything that you wish you would have known at that point that would have helped you?
I think I like what I learned later that it would have been nicer to learn sooner is, at our company, we talk a lot about failing forward. And
Yeah.
I pride myself on that. Okay. I fail forward daily, did it yesterday real bad. Of course, I've experienced tremendous loss and professional setbacks and financial challenges and a lot of moments where you might quit. But if I had understood earlier that all of that and building a resilience is a requirement of success, it's not an obstacle to success. It's a requirement that you do that. I would have spent less time questioning myself or pity parties or, that kind of thing because it's part of it. And so these principles teach you that challenges will come. It's part of the process, not proof that the process isn't working.
Why do you think that
Uh,
this has even endured or lasted the way it has?
One of the things was actually in like a smaller setting that I think Gary had with all of the community leaders one time, where he talked about like finding an avatar, find someone who's doing it really well and study their models, their systems, their habits, because success leaves clues, So I think one of the things that he understood more than other people is that um, whatever you're trying to do has probably been done and can be replicated at a higher level. And so he teaches that success leaves clues and to like study the people who you admire that are doing it well. And I don't know that everybody gets that. Some people want to be that. Oh, I'm going to be this person and I want to be, but there's somebody else has done it well, you know, and what have they done that's worked for them? But more or less, I think most of what the entire KW organization operates off of is models and systems, and he really obviously understands the importance of models and systems and habits. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you so very much, and the time that you give to this organization is invaluable, Julia. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for sharing this conversation with me and for sharing your passion for Quantum Leap and KW
Yeah.
Next Gen. It's a pleasure to get to know you and to be a part of this together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope that we have another conversation like this one soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brandy. And thank you all for donating to KW Next Gen.